Hello. All right, here we go. Ed.
Yes, sir.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for your patience, for being here today. Thank you for the honor of being dressed so properly in this wonderful heat. Introduce yourself, sir, and please tell us who you are and what you do here in the Roxbury area.
So I'm Ed Gaskin. I'm the executive director of Greater Grove Hall Main Streets. And as my colleague Toy just pointed out, we're technically in Dorchester and where we sit right now. And I want to, first of all, we have to do the ancestral acknowledgement, if you remember from the past. So I'm acknowledging that this is once from our Native American brothers and sisters whose land we're not using.
Absolutely.
And what we're doing here today, and I want to thank Mayor Wu for basically helping select this area for an open streets like it was in some of the other parts of the city. I'd like to thank Dominga Martin, who has done a great job in programming and bringing a person such as yourself here to the hood.
Thank you, sir. This is where I'm from, so I'm always in the hood.
Hey! So what we're trying to do is to create an experience that people can look forward to. Now, we've done this a couple times in the past. We haven't done it for a number of years. And I would like to see it as something that we do on a regular basis, at least once a year, if not once a month. And the idea is, how do we create the kind of experiences in Grove Hall that people say, I want to go to Grove Hall.
So you're from Grove Hall Main Streets. We missed that part.
I did say I was executive director of Grove Hall.
Gotcha.
So in other words, just like people say, I'm going to go to Chinatown, I'm going to go to the North End, we would love people to say, I'm going to Grove Hall, I'm going to Nubian Square, because there's certain kinds of experiences there.
What are those types of experiences? Tell us about them.
So the point I was going to make is, people go to, let's say, Chinatown for maybe Chinese cuisine, or they go to North End for Italian. We have both Dominican, African, Jamaican, West Indian, so we lots of food here. So you can have cultural experiences in terms of food, some of the products, etc. And so overall, when we do this, like with the entertainment and so forth, this is also a cultural experience.
Absolutely.
So maybe we'll end up having gospel brunches, maybe we'll have choirs, maybe we'll have other kinds, but why not have the full representation of the community as a way that we can enjoy it, and as an economic development tool, have other people come into the neighborhood and spend their money.
Absolutely.
Why are we going someplace else? Why don't we have some people coming here?
We keep that dollar right here, absolutely, in Grove Hall. Ed, thank you so much for coming to tell us about Grove Hall Main Streets and being our first guest to kick off today. And we'll be right back with you. We're going to have our we're kind of winging this today, so we're going to have our Toy Burton get ready to come and join us, and we're going to talk with her about the Roxbury Unity Parade. But Ed, thank you so much, and thank you for your patience as we work through the technical difficulties.
Yeah, so make sure everybody meets all the people at the tables, and this is a great opportunity for community organizing and getting out very important information for the community.
Absolutely. Brother Ed, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you. We're going to get our sister Toy to get ready to come up. If you are watching from home, go ahead and hit that share button, or even more so, we see people from Tennessee and other places watching, so you can't necessarily get to Roxbury. But, if you're in Boston, plan on coming down to Main Streets. We got our wonderful Toy Burton who's coming. And there's the mic. So this young lady that I'm about to introduce to many of you is not a stranger to the Java Cafe, not a stranger to Roxbury, certainly, and not a stranger to community organizing and work, and certainly not a stranger to the work of mental health. And looking wonderful, Miss Toy. If you follow her on social media, Toy's been on this wonderful healthy journey, and every time I see her, I'm like, Jesus, I'm going to see her in 2 months and she's going to be gone. But Toy, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, James. Like James said, my name is Toy Burton, and I am the founder and executive director of the Roxbury Unity Parade and of Dee Dee's Cry Suicide Prevention and Family Support.
Tell us first about Dee Dee's Cry, and then we can spend a little bit more time talking about the Roxbury Unity Parade, because you know for sure that it's hard to separate the two when it comes to you. So, but tell us a little bit about the Roxbury Unity Parade, as Ed mentioned. And depending on your generation, when you grew up, like I'm old school. I consider this, part of Roxbury, but through the years, it's changed the zip code. But tell us about the Roxbury Unity. Actually, first, I'm sorry, Dee Dee's Cry, and then we'll go into the Unity Parade.
So Dee Dee was my sister. Dee Dee died by suicide when she was 23 in 1986. I started Dee Dee's Cry in 2017 after I noticed that organizations that focus on suicide prevention and mental health education really wasn't focusing on Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan. To me, communities of color, people of color. So I started Dee Dee's Cry to connect the community to those resources.
And tell us now about, and again, we're technically not in Roxbury, but tell us about the Roxbury Unity Parade and why it was so important for you to start that. And it was just not even a month ago. It was just like 3 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay.
But I do want to say something about Dee Dee's Cry. So I am also a suicide attempt survivor. And on September 11th, Dee Dee's Cry will have our first walk for suicide attempt survivors at Franklin Park, September 11th, 12 o'clock behind Shattuck. So you do not have to be a suicide attempt survivor to come out and support us. We're just going to do one loop around the golf course because I'm not that all worked out.
And that's by then, please. So September 11th, meeting at Franklin Park at what time?
At 12 o'clock.
At 12 o'clock. All right. And tell us about the Roxbury Unity Parade. You always got us walking somewhere doing. See, you taking us on this healthy journey with you. Go ahead.
So with the Roxbury Unity Parade, same thing. I got angry that my neighborhood wasn't being represented when it came to a parade.
Why is representation in that manner important?
I think Roxbury is deserving of that. So when you think of parades or any type of celebration, you got the West Indian Carnival, you have the Puerto Rican Parade, Dominican Parade, and I was like, what about plain Black people?
Yes.
So the Roxbury,
wait.
Roxbury Unity Parade.
We ain't plain. We got spices, but Toy said plain Black people.
Plain Black people that born here on this continent.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I know what you mean.
Yes. So the Roxbury Unity Parade is Boston's only parade that recognizes and celebrates Black culture, our excellence, and our contributions to the city of Boston.
Okay. And what has been the highlight between Dee Dee's Cry and Roxbury Unity Parade? If you were to put or name a highlight that comes out of the work you do for both, what would that highlight be?
For both
together,
5 years.
So you started them in the same year?
The Roxbury Unity Parade, the planning did start in 2017.
Okay.
The same time I started planning
for
Dee Dee's Cry. So the first parade was in 2018.
Yep.
So we had 2018, 2019, 2020. Roxbury Unity Parade is also the only parade that did not cancel during COVID. So
we did the caravan in 2020.
The caravan.
Yes.
So don't let nobody feed y'all that. I hear the media says that how all the parades shut down in 2020. The Roxbury Unity Parade did not. We became a caravan and we stayed in our cars. We felt like our community was getting hit harder than other communities and felt like it was important for us to come out and show the neighborhood love.
Absolutely. And so Dee Dee's Cry and Roxbury Unity Parade started in the same year. And so the highlight for you is 5 years of, what is that 5 years included?
So the 5 years with Dee Dee's Cry, this year we had our first men's summit, Mind, Body, and Spirit Summit.
I was there and it was...
Yes. So we're definitely going to do that again next year. And we had our Mental Health While Black Summit in February.
Okay.
So we're definitely going to do that again next February.
And this year, I mean, the reason I know a little bit is because I was one of the recipients. But this year you instituted, is that the right? You implemented more awards in the Roxbury Unity Parade.
Yes. So this year we did add more awards, but the first year when I said that I'm going to give away awards, a friend of mine said, Toy, you're a parade. Why are you doing awards? I felt like it was important to recognize the people who uplift Roxbury every day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Toy, I appreciate you. You know, I love and respect you. And I'm really sitting here looking at you and I'm like, in a couple of weeks, we ain't going to be able to see you. But shout out to Dr. Brandy and to everybody that's here from the Dee Dee's Cry team. Thank you so much, Toy, for what you do.
Roxbury Unity Parade
and Roxbury Unity Parade team. So y'all are holding it down. one team holding down two wonderful efforts that are making things better for our community and improving the quality of life and celebrating those in Roxbury.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, James.
Thank you. Listen, everyone, we are getting ready to, I'm going to get the camera back on me here. I'm playing producer, engineer, and cameraman all at one time. We are getting ready, and I'm kind of playing this off of, we're going to be right back with you in a couple of seconds to figure out who we're interviewing next. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, we are getting ready to get started again with our interviews, and we're getting ready to bring our next guest up. And our next guest right now is Stacy Borden from New Beginnings Reentry. If she could make her way to the stage, we would just like to also acknowledge Shauna Bryant, who is in the building, in the building. And we're going to, Shauna, why don't you, can't come say hello real quick. You know we live. Thank you. Miss Borden, how are you? Here you go. Pleasure to meet you as well. James Hills, nice. Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. So, Miss Borden, I understand. Let me just get you queued up here. Okay. I understand that you do reentry work. Well, first, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do.
So I'm Stacy Borden. I'm a licensed clinician. I'm the founder and executive director of New Beginners Reentry Services.
Okay.
And what that means is we have a home right here on Gaston Street. We bring women out
Right
of
here?
prison right here.
Okay.
Right here in the heart of the community.
Yes, ma'am.
We fought hard to be in our own community.
Absolutely.
We believe that our sisters.
Why is that important when you say it's reentry? Why is it important for when the women come home to be in their community?
Well, often we're sent out of the community. I'm formerly incarcerated myself.
Okay.
And so just having the experience of trying to reintegrate back into the community, you're sent to suburbs outside of the community, and then you're coming back to reintegrate, and there's often no resources. So we decided that we needed to build some.
Absolutely.
And we need to be right in the community. We needed to be here to begin to heal from the trauma that was done to us.
Yep.
And then see the transformation of the harm we've caused to others. Right here in the heart of the community.
In the community, and you focus on self-healing first,
Yes.
and then go and you encourage them to go out and then sort of do the work around reconciling with family, with their community.
Yeah, we believe in transform harm first.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then restorative justice. You can't go to restorative justice without understanding the harm and healing from the harm that was caused to us. Often we act out
Yep.
when we're harmed. A
Yes,
lot of
ma'am.
us are, 97% of women that are incarcerated come from sexual and domestic violence. And then we act out, and then we're punished, and then we're sentenced, and then you're in a cruel world that nobody really understands unless you've endured that prison culture. Right? So there's no healing in it. There's no solution in it. So why don't we create some?
How I'm going to need to set up another time to talk to
Yeah,
you more
brother,
in
we-
depth. Okay.
That's right.
How long have you been in existence?
Since 2016. And so 2021, we just opened the doors. Well, actually, we opened the doors, but we just started having women. We did a grand opening April the 19th, 2022.
Okay.
With all of our Black sisters, all of our representatives from this district.
Yep.
Our wonderful Congresswoman Ayanna Presley, Senator Diaz.
Sister friend Nick,
our
yep.
two sisters, Representatives China Diaz and Representative Liz Miranda.
Yep.
Right? And Ruthie's stood on the stage with us and cut the ribbon. And now we have our first 5 women in the home coming from the prison system.
What's your capacity at the home?
10 beds, but we serve up to 60 women in the community.
So they don't necessarily have to stay in the residential. You do sort of not outpatient, but you do like case management services,
Yes.
even if they're not in the residential outreach.
Yes.
Okay. How can folks get in touch with you to get information, to either have you come and share information about your organization? How can they get in touch with you and say either your email or your phone number nice and slow so they can hear it?
So the number is 617
617
299
299
2191
2199
91
2191 617 299
2191.
That's on one hand, that's kind of an easy number to remember. And on the other hand, I'm like, okay, I don't want to confuse the numbers. Can you tell us a little bit? And I know this is city focused, and I'll take the blame or get in trouble. But is there anything that you need that people can donate in order to help you?
Yeah, we definitely need funding. We have a beautiful
away from the
staff.
monetary. Are there items that you need?
Well, we need food.
Okay.
We need clothing.
Okay.
We have a boutique upstairs, but we're really training the women to prepare to fight the battle of the barriers of the quarry for housing and employment.
And look,
So
and
we
career
have-
development.
And career development.
Yep.
I love that. Career development. That's right. We have a lot of resources in the home. We have a theater in the basement. We believe in targeting the trauma through the world of dramatic arts. Yeah, we're not playing.
Can y'all give this young lady a hand? Oh my goodness. I'm sitting up here listening. I'm like, wow.
This is the first of its kind.
The
We
first.
know what we need. We've been there, right?
And that's for us, by us.
For us, and nothing about us without us. That's what the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls say all the time. You can't keep sitting at the table creating these legislative laws without us.
What
know
is
what
the
we
benefit of having us at the table? Is it just being there to say we're there? What is the real benefit and outcome?
Because we know what we need in this community.
Yes, ma'am.
We've been there. We've been the most directly impacted. You can't keep creating something that you haven't experienced, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We're the professionals. We're the expert at what we need in this community, and we're not going to stop until we get the direct resources we need.
You all give it up for Miss Stacy Borden. If you need to contact her, 617-299-9121.
2191.
219 when I told y'all, I almost had it.
Almost.
Miss Stacy, thank you so much.
Thank you
We
so much.
appreciate
It's
you.
a pleasure.
Y'all give
You're
Miss
right
Stacy a
over
hand.
Jimmy, may I just say one thing?
Yes.
We have another resource, community resource fair, Crawford Street in Warren, next Saturday from 12 to 4.
So that's Saturday, the 13th of August from 12 to 4. And you said Crawford Street. So is that the
Crawford and
Freedom
Warren.
House?
Nope,
Oh, it's
that's
gonna be
it.
outside.
Right on the corner of the
Is that
post
lot
office.
there?
That lot.
Okay, so
And
that
the purpose is really to show the state representatives, these people who are representing us, to show how many resources our formerly incarcerated people have in the community, and more so how our representatives should be supporting these organizations.
with the legislation. Also, you
That's
mentioned funding, and again, I don't want to get in trouble, but if you need to make a donation, 617-299-2191.
91.
I
Or
got
go
it
on
right?
our website.
Or the website. What is the website as
The
well?
website, www.newbeginningsreentryservices.org.
New Beginnings Reentryservices.org. Again,
Yes.
please give Miss Stacy a hand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. At this time, we are getting ready to call to the main stage. I'm just getting my instructions here. Akila, who is representing Aspire to Inspire Movement and Future Chefs. Akila is coming at this time. Let's give her a hand as well. Now, I know I'm on this camera and I'm old school, but I got to just go help the young ladies up the stairs. I'm sorry. So Miss Akila was actually, her and Ed were the first ones here. So thank you for your patience.
No problem.
You guys are located across the street.
Yes.
So I saw the signage about Future Chefs. So first, please introduce yourself.
Yeah.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
You're not hot?
I'm very hot, actually.
It is kind of hot out here. But tell us about yourself, and then we'll go into Future Chefs.
Cool. My name is Aquila, and
Aquila. I want to
Aquila,
pronounce that
yes.
right. Okay, forgive me. Aquila, not Aquila.
not Aquila,
Okay.
not Aquila with a G. Aquila. My name is Aquila, and I'm the founder of the Inspire to Inspire movement, as well as an alumni and board member and mentor at Future Chefs.
Okay.
I grew up in Roxbury, so I'm happy to be here doing something to, just support the neighborhoods.
Absolutely. Tell us about Future Chefs. How was your experience? Are you a chef?
I am a
You are a
chef.
chef. Wait
yes.
a minute. Hold on. All right. Tell us about your experience at Future Chefs.
Yeah, so Future Chefs is a youth program. It works with teens who have an interest in the culinary field, and helps them to develop both their culinary skills and also their professional skills. So it's really all about getting them prepared to live a successful life after high school, both in work and just, as a person. And then food is the hook, because everybody loves food. We all got to eat.
I know that's right. I've gained a different love for food more, I think, in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned the other program that you started.
Yeah.
Did your experience at Future Chefs encourage you to start your own
Most
movement?
definitely.
Okay.
So Future Chefs, I was a part of the first graduating class of Future Chefs. So
The inaugural class.
the
Okay,
inaugural
okay then.
class. So they started in 2008, and they were kind of based in different schools around the city, and then they got their own space in the South End. And then just last year, we moved and opened up at this beautiful new facility.
Yes,
so
right here in Roxbury. Well,
yeah,
Roxbury.
Dorchester, right on the cusp. But yeah.
Tell us the name of your program again, and tell us a little bit about it, because I hear the words inspire
Yeah.
and movement.
Yeah, so the Aspire to Inspire movement is really all about encouraging both individuals and businesses to discover and to live out their fullest potential. So as I said, I've been in the culinary industry. I've been in the culinary industry for about 15 years now, going on about 16 years now. And
You said about 16 years.
Yeah.
You look all like 18.
well, thanks. You know what they say. Black folks don't crack that much. So, but yeah. So I I help, really my big focus is on helping people to be empowered in business. So I'm well known for working with Jamaica Me Hungry and really helping to build and develop that brand. I also work with some of your other favorite food trucks like Gourmet Creole and some catering companies as well, and really just helping people to figure out how to put their systems in place. I'm a systems person, like, how to develop.
Might need to talk, but go ahead.
Yeah, developing your back end, all of your standard operating procedures, and also just navigating like the whole process of permitting and licensing and everything when you're getting started, particularly in a food business here in Boston, and also beyond, but Boston's my heart. So
not just in the food business, and I'm going to ask you kind of a off the cuff question, but in 2020, a lot of Black and brown people found themselves moving in the space of becoming an entrepreneur. And often, and I'll speak from experience, we get to do the work. And I heard you a few seconds ago mention the back end and systems. How important, so much more so, is it for Black and brown people to make sure, almost A to B there, to make sure that we have our systems and back ends in proper condition?
Yeah.
How important is that?
It's very important. It's of the utmost importance, honestly, really, to have your systems in place, because your systems are really your business. If you don't have any systems in place, then more than having a business, you just created a job for yourself. The goal of a business is that you're able to delegate, allow other people to do things, so that you're able to work on the business more than working in the business, trying to do all of the nitty gritty things. But when you have a system in place, you allow it's easier to pass it on and to delegate items for other people to do as well. And
so should you write those systems down and have protocols and
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't know how to do it, then get you somebody who can help you.
How can they reach you?
Yeah, so if you would like to find out more information about me, you can visit the ATImovement.com. And if you want to find out more about Future Chefs, or if you have a young person in your life that's interested in being a part of the program or anything, if you want to find out more about Future Chefs, you can look at futurechefs.net.
Thank you, Aquila. I got it right. Y'all give Aquila a hand.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for this opportunity. And at this time, we have a very special guest that is on her way to the main stage, and I'm excited about this interview. Please put your hand together for Dr. Savina Martin from Tri-Chair and also the Massachusetts Poor People's Campaign. Right over on this side, Mother. And again, y'all excuse the aesthetics of the camera. I'm going to go help Mother Martin get up the stairs. This one has been a long time coming. It's good to see you, Mother. So, this, I'm going to tell you all now, this one is going to be very interesting. Before we have you introduce yourself, Mother, first, how did we meet? I want to hear your version, and then I'm going to tell my version. Do you remember how we met?
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here
absolutely.
today.
We're going to do the formalities, but
we love the Java Jimmy show. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
And we met during the height of advocating and mobilizing around the issue on mass incasts.
Yep.
A very, very visible expression of poverty, right? And we were calling attention to the community service providers, those that shelter the unsheltered, those that house those that need an adequate and decent roof over their head. And more importantly, the healthcare officials
Yep.
and doctors and teams to help provide wraparound services to those in need. So that's how we met. We met on several Zoom calls.
On the Zoom,
And
I
we were
think
trying to unpack.
the reason I brought it up is Mother is very passionate, and we had this meeting on Zoom, and everyone was, saying everything politically correct, and they were being nice about the providers. And I think toward the end, Mother was like, "Excuse me," and Mother said what really needed to be said. So shout out to Boston Wild Black that is in the building. This I think we're still in the morning. So and please forgive me because I'm inclined to call you Mother. So this is
That's
the mother
fine.
of Dominga Martin, who is the program coordinator or program director for the Open Streets. And so I've known her before this. And so I already call her Mother.
Yes,
And so
you do.
please, if I say that and not Dr. Martin, it's a term of endearment. But Dr.
do.
Martin, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about, let's start maybe with Try Chair, and then we'll go into the Poor People's Campaign.
Sure. So currently I have the honor and the privilege to share with two dynamic tri-chairs. There's three of us.
Okay.
And what that is we are the tri-chairs of the Massachusetts Poor People.
Oh, I'm sorry, not a separate org Tri Chair. I thought you had your own little, Tri Chair and three components. So there are three Tri Chairs of the Massachusetts
And a host of coordinators. Raise your hand. Some of our coordinators are on deck right
Poor
now.
People's Campaign is in the building.
And some of our folks who went to DC, like Soraya, raise your hand. Her daughter spoke to the presidential candidates in 2019.
All right, my sister Soraya, part of the Java fam out there.
Official statewide organization. Of course, there are 43 states. So these are just a microcosm of our states leaders.
So you all
we
are
have
in
a
43
table set up.
states.
We're in 43 states. Do you know we are finishing up the unfinished business of Reverend Dr. King? So we have a deep and broad pedagogy, a very comprehensive program, and it's called the 5 Interlocking Injustices. We are here talking about today, right? Our economic stability,
Yes.
our health care, how to get small businesses up and running and healthy, right? Amidst systemic racism and fighting for health care and all of those good things. But we're here today to bring the joy. Right? We're here to bring the joy about the power we have with voting registrations, right? So that's what we're
is
setting
that
up over
power
there.
that you speak
Oh,
of when
my
it comes
goodness.
to voter registration?
3 goals, right? The power is in our vote.
Yes.
If you just watched the course of the news over the last week and see what happened in Kentucky, baby.
Now listen,
These
Kentucky
states
or
are turning.
Kentucky or Kansas?
Kansas.
Woo! I saw
Jimmy,
that too.
did you
That was
see
the first
that?
state to vote around the abortion rights, and they voted to keep the rights
Yes.
and not uphold the ban.
Right.
The power of the
And
vote.
that's what we're talking about. Building power. Even though we may feel like we don't trust, and trust me, I can go into a whole nother story. But
As
don't let
to
me go
valid
there, 'cause
reasons
I
why.
will
Absolutely. Yep.
say it out loud,
Uh-huh.
right? I'm known for that, and
She is.
that's an honor to be able to speak it right. So the power is in our vote. We can build power collectively together. We can shift the narrative. So, because we don't need people speaking for us, we can speak up for ourselves. We can speak for ourselves. We could think for ourselves, and we can influence elections and policy. And see, sometimes we don't know we have that power, but we hold that power. What do you think John Lewis was doing?
Listen.
What do you think the ancestors, before us were doing? Right? They were doing the same work we're doing. And it's unfortunate that we have to be here to do that. But we're here today. Aren't we showing up?
We are
Now,
showing
that's
up.
power.
But let me ask you this, Mother, because you've, I'm going to try to do this without getting in trouble. You have a couple of years of observation to see movements. You're seeing the Poor People's Campaign through. You've seen movements before that. In this post George Floyd, I won't say post pandemic because we're still sort of in it. What have you noticed? Is there a difference from some years ago when the movement may have seen more grassroots? Do you see any differences now in the way advocacy and activism is done?
we have made some headway,
Okay.
but we know that even in the last few years, we have been set back. We have been set back with these racist policies.
Yes.
Right? This so-called Congress and those that are so-called in charge have really wrecked this country. And this isn't something that we're just saying. It is impacting everybody across every line of division. And people are organizing and mobilizing around that. So we have, and in this community in between Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan is low voting, right? So we have to vote more. And I can understand why people don't, right? We need the entire stretch of Blue Hill Ave refurbished. We need to build up ourselves, right? We're not in post-trauma, we're in daily trauma. We are in daily trauma on every side, right? Economic, racism, healthcare, the war economy, the proliferation of gun violence in our children.
And let's just also name you as a queen what happened, unfortunately, with the Supreme Court as well. That's another added stress that our queens are dealing with as well.
That's right. And you know who will go to prison. You know who will be jailed if they try to attempt to get in it, but you know who will go to jail. Right?
It's so interesting, and not to deviate too far off, but we have this wonderful queen with wisdom here, and so we're going to get all that we can get. That is, I posted the other day about the MBTA and the Orange Line, and somebody had made a point that, James, it's beyond race and ethnicity. Everybody's impacted, but I've been here a few years. You've been here maybe a couple of years less. We know that Black and brown folks tend to be disproportionately impacted. And so to your point, it is those that are already dealing with the, systemic issues in the healthcare system. And so you are absolutely right that we do have to sort of fortify ourselves and be prepared to, what is the advice you would give to communities specifically around ensuring that our queens and sisters stay healthy in spite of that decision? You can get almost any subject covered when you have a Dr. Martin in place. So please speak to us about that.
Well, because this is an election season, the most important thing is right now. And if people need information, please go to the Poor People's Campaign table, because we're doing a voter registration information and education later on today.
Okay.
So if you need information, please go to the table. See, we have a whole row. We have Priscilla, we have Stacy Borden, we have everybody in that row, right? That you can get any information about anything you need in this community. And if you can't get it, we will direct you to where you have to go. We need information, and we need the right information. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Right? We live in a state. The state of Massachusetts has more money than it can think of. We should be living in adequate, decent housing for everybody. Let me give you a fact, and this was a fact that was part of the Poor People's Campaign Center for Policy Studies, right? Empirically. And we know, Jimmy, it's hard to get data from some folks here. So let me start, because I don't want to get in anyway. I don't mind getting in trouble. It's good trouble. But let me tell you something. It should not take 113 working hours. It shouldn't take 113 hours to afford a 2-bedroom apartment in Boston.
113 hours, meaning
in Massachusetts. It shouldn't take.
So are you saying that in order to afford it, the average person would need to work 113 hours a week to afford the apartment?
Low wage, right? Or working for the hourly minimum wage. We should not have to work 113 hours to afford a good 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So let's start there. Everybody deserves, housing is a right.
It's a human right. It should be, interestingly, so we were talking about constitutional right with the other piece I was talking about. It's a human right, because you can't really function unless you have some place to lay your head.
Absolutely. That makes all the difference.
Dr. Martin, AKA Mother, queen, activist. It was a pleasure to finally get to talk with you today. And, here and there, if the Minga's on the phone or whatever, you'll pop in. But it was good to formally be able to talk and chat with you. Let's give our Dr. Martin a hand.
My pleasure. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you for coming in. I'm going to help Mother off the stage, because that's just kind of how I roll. I'm going to ask my good brothers, Dave Mecca and Brother Bourne, if they can prepare themselves to get ready to do their interview as well. Let's give them a hand as they're getting ready to come. And I just want to acknowledge a good Java fam that's in the building. He just got off a boat from Antigua. Many of you know him. Thaddeus Miles, y'all can give him a hand as well. Photographer extraordinaire. What? Come on, Brother Dave and Brother Bourne, let's go. Wait, these are our hosts. And so I wanted to kind of wait to bring them on. Walking down the street, we just want to acknowledge our newly appointed director of the LGBTQ plus office. Quincy Roberts is in the building, along with the chief of communications for the office of inclusion, for the office of, yes, that one. So let's give them a hand. We are so glad that they are here. You know, brothers, this now, listen, I'm telling you all, I'm looking in the camera so I can tell you all right now, this interview, this is going to be the one, and we're going to have to try to tie this up in about 5 to 7 minutes, but we're going to work it out. There's some knowledgeable brothers, and you're going to get a lot in the next 5 to 7 minutes. But I have the opportunity. I ain't setting y'all up. I have the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to some and present to others Dave Mecca, and we got another mic here. Wonderful. Dave Mecca and brother, I call him Brother Born by Kim. That's his name on social media. But let's see. Look.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we got y'all. They got to make sure we capture the moment. Shout out to Boston While Black. Good to see y'all in the building. Our director of a community and cultural engagement. I love you, Kania. But all right, who's not taking a pic? Dave, introduce yourself, sir, because Bourne's trying to make sure his camera gets picked up too.
Here you go, brother. My name is Dave Mecca.
And tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm 51 years old.
51?
Yeah, I'm 51, about to be 52. Been living in Boston for the better part of 30 years. Moved here when I was in high school from Texas, and did a little. My background is in hip hop culture.
Yes, sir.
Producing events and education and activism, and then I spent a lot of time doing youth programming and residential, and then also fell into the trauma space where I've been at for about since 2008.
And well, I'll go into that in a few minutes because I remember I was surprised to hear you say 51 because I thought you was a couple of years older than me just because of the wisdom. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. Now, Brother Bourne, introduce yourself, sir. You can or cannot. You don't tell your age.
My name is Born by Kim. I'm the son of.
Hold your mic up and let the top out. You're a professional.
I do a lot of stuff in Boston. I basically do health now. I've had a lot of different jobs over the years. As a youth, I started doing hip hop here. I'm one of the fathers of hip hop, or the originals, I guess they call us OGs now at this point. But I started in hip hop. I formed a group called the Unique Dominoes that actually used to. Our arch nemesis was one of his partners, Lino from the Floor Lords, and we used to dance against the Floor Lords for years and years. And then we went into ballet and performing arts, Boston Youth Theater, a lot of different stuff over the years.
That's where we met, Boston Youth Theater.
We met at Boston Youth Theater. So I've been involved in theater and performance, and now I do body work. I'm also a yoga instructor. I do healthy food and juice prep. I show people how to, kind of make that transfer into being meat eater to being a non-meat eater, going plant-based, stuff like that. But most recently, I've started working here with Mecca at the Muse, and we've been here for about a year.
So tell us, and as I mentioned that you guys are our host, we are in the lot of 336 Blue Hill Ave. Some refer to it as the Breathe Life lot.
Breathe Life.
We also want to
Black.
say that, this is a wonderful space that would allow the Muse to do a lot more programming and different things. And so anybody that's listening or may see this at a later date, and has any influence, powers that be, whatever, it is imperative that these brothers and our brother Joe have the opportunity to expand the reach here in this space, that it's not just sitting here. And so I just wanted, I'll say that if y'all can't. So tell us a little bit about the Muse, Brother Dave.
We've came together.
Outside of the speaker picture on Instagram, there's more to the Muse than getting the honor of the speaker picture on Instagram.
The speaker picture is a staple. You
It's a staple.
Come and sit on the speaker.
You don't come here and not take a picture on the speaker.
That's right. Thaddeus, we need to get you on the speaker. You ain't
Yes.
done speaker yet.
That's official. That makes it official.
Yes, sir.
So we just came together as a community collaborative. Joey Politics,
Yes. Yep.
who's the proprietor of the space, opened it up to us and was like, hey, I got a vision. I want to be a space for Black excellence and art, for the next 100 years.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, okay, well, we got a whole community collaborative of Born and DJ Dinosaur, LOG, and Sarah Kalo. I get funky with names when I'm trying to talk and I'm on the stage.
Tell them to charge it to your head, not your heart.
Charge it to my head. I'm not going to remember everyone. Pro Black is part of what Joey would call the art department, Trev City. Pro Black with the mural over here, and I don't know if any of y'all have seen the beautiful mural he did of his lovely daughter Bobby downtown in the Dewey Square. There's more people in our family, but. King Sobek. Yeah, King Sobek, back against the wall. So if I miss somebody, we'll catch it up on another time. But, we're just a family of people to come together to be like, how do we use art, to really add beauty to the community? How can we sustain ourselves? How can we, use these vehicles to uplift ourselves, right? And so, for my part, because we all have our own vision. That's the beautiful thing about the collaborative. We really didn't want to build like this one big nonprofit, and so everyone's vision could come to fruition.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And we could share the fund in cooperative economics, And so my part in it is in the reason why, me and Born, we have a history. We used to run residential programs together, and Born is such a wise, knowledgeable person around health and wellness. Well, he's a wise and knowledgeable person, period, but health and wellness is definitely his lane. And so I was like, I want to build, because my background is working in community violence. And, there's a lot of great programs around, but how do we build that backstop? Community run, community led healing center.
That's one of the things that I'm going to kind of have you start it and then maybe throw to Born, because I know he mentioned the health piece. But one of the staples of your account, and good to see you, Uncle Thaddeus.
Peace.
One of the staples of the Muse I often see is you have programming here with young people that looks like it's youth driven, and it's very community based, and it's from DJing to collaborations. You all collaborated with the Black Boston COVID Coalition. You all collaborated with Massachusetts General Hospital, and so maybe you can start a little bit about the health component with the healthy arts, arts and health, or I don't know, but you all also have a health focus, because you can't do your art, but not spitting, rapping, visual art if you're not healthy. So why is it important to do that transition with health and art? And Born, you can jump in.
Before you say, I just want to, Vital CX and theirs, Vital Connections was a big partner in helping us getting started, and I wanted to give them love.
Absolutely.
And really, all that really came about. A lot of our connections is through Mama Hip Hop. Right. So I'm going to give love to Cindy Diggs.
Cindy Diggs, who we just want to acknowledge was not feeling well and made a decision to, stay home today. But shout out to you, Mama Diggs. Born, why and you've delved in art. And then you're now kind of this yogi health guru type. So I'd love to hear the correlation between the two.
So basically, whenever you talk about hip hop, basically you're talking about people who are in a state of despair, right? And that's what hip hop was created out of, right?
Yep.
We created our own language, we created our own culture as far as what we would wear, how we would wear it, how we would wear our hair, how we, all those things. So basically, hip hop was born to create a space for us to be healthy and to express ourselves. And so you had kids in, South Bronx, you had kids in New York. We were some of the kids that were here in Boston. We were doing it, right? And if you really look at hip hop from its foundation, what you find is hip hop was totally non-denominational. It didn't have a color. We didn't care. As long as you had skills, you could come. Yeah. And so what happens is you realize that hip hop was created, is a creation of youth, which isn't just visually being able to see what I'm thinking. If I'm a writer, you are able to hear what I'm thinking if I'm a rapper, right? And so what we were doing is we were expressing that pain. That is what Breathe Life is, right? Breathe Life, right? And so here in the middle of this oasis, food oasis, there's nothing here, there's very little here. We can breathe life. And so we put, like, I'm just shouting out pro-Black, right? Here's a piece of art which is inspired to breathe life into a place where we regularly move through and don't feel like there's wonderful places. Just looking at this lot. This lot's been here for a long time, right? We're talking back in the days of Martin Luther King's assassination. This neighborhood's been burnt out since then. So this is one of Boston's divestment zones. But as it's relative to health, right? Because it's a divestment zone, we know there's not healthy food. We know there's not healthy programming. We know there's not healthy things. So what we do is we come in and we say, look, hip hop has always been healthy. It is an expression of health, right? Yes, sir. At its best, right? At its best, at its core, right? Yeah. So yoga, come and get yoga. We show you how to breathe, because what we know is hip hop came from the inside out. What we do in regard to health and wellness comes from the inside out. And so our value is we build community from the inside out. We don't need people to come in from the outside and say, this is what you need. The solutions to all our problems are right here. So on Tuesday nights, we have hip hop. We have a yoga night here. We do sound healing. We have Crumpers here on Monday night. Very soon on Wednesday, we'll be doing a thing where we'll have like a sound clash of like hip hop and jazz. We'll be working with Berkeley. We'll have like an after work set where people can come in the middle of the week and just come and jam out, juice bar instead of alcohol, right?
Like the old loft back in the day.
Like the old loft back in the day.
Exactly.
And
So no my age there, but
And so in the long way, I'm bringing that all to a close, is health and wellness is core to making sure that we're coming from that place. And so what I focus on and what we focus on at the Muse is basically being a place where people can come and get healthy. We'll refer you to someone if you need to go there. We'll let you know where to go. We'll let you know what you can get there. But here we'll say, you can come here, you can get yoga. We're going to turn you on to massage therapists. We're going to turn you on to sound baths. We're going to turn you on to sound healing. We're going to turn you on to crystals. We're going to tell you about local artisans that have things for your skin, things for your hair. And we do that on Tuesday night. So really what we are is kind of a community health clinic It's a muse
for health and creativity.
And wellness. That's it.
Got you.
Gentlemen, so I'd say this
and
for Joe's words.
Huh?
And it's an art gallery.
Right. And it's an art gallery.
I think these three words, dream, inspire, and create.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here for, right?
Dream, inspire. I was making sure there wasn't dream, inspire, create.
Right.
But never mind.
Yeah, don't
That's
do
straight
that.
from politics.
No acronym.
That's straight from Joey politics.
Don't make an acronym out of that.
With that being said, gentlemen, I just got my notification of time, but I appreciate both of you all. Much respect, both from a professional level, seeing what you do in the community, and both of you I have my own personal relationships with, and so I appreciate both of you all. Thank you for being the host, Joe and others that opened this space today. You all give a hand to our wonderful guests.
It's such an honor to be on your platform. We so respect what you do, and thank you for this moment.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our sister Priscilla Flint, former executive director of the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. She's going to come and talk with us for a couple of seconds. And then in just a few minutes, the parade is going to be coming down the street. I got notice that we got about 5 minutes. And so you'll be able to see that as well.
Gotcha.
And also, Sister Priscilla is an author as well. And I just wanted to mention she's also very politically active. So anybody that's seeing imagery with the logo and the Sister Priscilla, this is not an endorsement of any one candidate. She's just out here because she's after she do a couple of things. And so, Sister Priscilla.
Hi, Jimmy. How you doing?
And it's so funny to hear you call me Jimmy because Sister Priscilla has known me since I was in my teens back in the day. So we're going to leave that there. But please introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the realm of BECMA, and then we'll end with the book.
Okay.
You authored a book a couple of years ago.
So, hello, everybody. My name is Priscilla Flint Banks. I am...
we may have to just pause for a quick second because I think the parade got up a little ahead of us. And what we're going to do is figure out a way for you all to see the parade. So just give us 1 second. So from the way it looks, these are performers, and it may just be the first tier of the parade. So I wasn't aware that they were coming in. So we're just going to go with the flow. And we'll get back with Miss Priscilla in just 1 second.
Okay.
And thank you all so much. If someone could tell me the name of the group so I can acknowledge it before we go back to the interview. What's the name?
Power of Skirts.
Power of Skirts. Let's give them a hand. Thank you all so much. Miss Priscilla, thank you for your flexibility. And we're going to get our camera turned back around so we can finish our interview. And all right, so Miss Priscilla, please finish. And again, excuse the technical, you guys, but we wanted to make sure you got able to see the group that was marching up. So, Sister Priscilla, tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the community in reference to you were around when the Black Economic Council started. How important is economic empowerment in this area?
It's very important because we Blue Hill Ave did not always look like this, and we need to come together as community. There's a lot of land along Blue Hill Ave that as community we need to come together and get some of these parcels. I worked at the city, I worked in housing, I worked in banking, and when I left the city, me and my husband co-founded the Black Economic Justice Institute. And then I joined BECMA in 2015 when we were all up at Prince Hall.
Yep.
Yes. And I joined BECMA. And so I sat on the board for a while. And those of you who don't know Shagun Idawu, he was the ED and he brought a totally different flavor.
Yeah.
And he stood up and he's still standing up as a city employee. But it's just wonderful to be out here on this open streets. I want to give a shout out to my niece, Dominga Martin.
Wait a minute, Dominga's your niece?
Yes.
So that means that Mother Martin is some kin to you?
Yeah.
I should have known that.
We grew
Go
up
ahead.
together. We went to school together.
Okay.
But her father was
I
my
should have
brother.
known that because y'all have a similar cadence. There's a little, Priscilla's in the background making moves, and Dr. Martin is like, she'll get you told real quick. But so you were instrumental in forming the organization that is responsible for quality when it comes to economics in Massachusetts.
Well, you have to take a stand. We knew that we weren't getting our fair share.
Yep.
We knew that we weren't being treated fairly. So we formed an organization that would hold not only the city, but the state accountable. And that's where Beckham came in at. And so we know that change is coming.
Yep.
Change happens every day. And so we're just here to help make the change. And hopefully we will be able to, as community, get some of these parcels that are here on Blue Hill Ave. Because I also co-founded an organization called the Blue Hill Corridor Planning Commission, where we did work along this corridor. We shut down Stop and Shop because they had rodents running through it.
I remember
Then
that.
we helped Frank build his laundromat over there. And we also stopped the liquor store from coming up here in Grove Park. 'Cause who needs another liquor store,
We
right?
don't need another one. And you are absolutely right. And we have to acknowledge you were the foundation. Shagun was sort of the first floor. And now we have Nicole, who
Right,
stepped
right.
in and
She's
taken
great.
it to a
Yes.
whole nother level. I was able to be a part of their Attorney General forum the other night. And so, Ms. Priscilla, we're kind of short on time, but I would
know.
be remiss if I did not ask you to talk about and tell me the name of the book. The name of the book is I Look Back and Wonder How I Got Over. And you know, us growing up in church, we kind of know where that reference comes from. Right. You're also a minister of the gospel,
right.
As well. And so tell us a little bit about the book. What does it mean to I look back and see how I got over? What does that mean?
So because I grew up in Orchard Park Projects. I had 2 children. I lost my first son in a fire at 4 and my second son in a car accident at 7. And I just went through a whole lot of changes in my life.
Miss Priscilla, I didn't know all these years. I didn't know this about you at 4 and 7.
Yeah.
You lost your children?
Yeah.
Lord,
yeah.
gee. Okay,
It's
I'm
in the
sorry.
book.
That was just a
It's in
moment
the
for me
book.
because I didn't know. Wow.
But,
Okay.
And I talk about my trials and tribulations and how I went through a lot of ups and downs, but how God brought me back to reality. And if it had not been for the Lord Jesus who's on my side, I don't know where I would be. I suffered mental illness, I was in the nut house a couple of times, but I'm free and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for God. I have my own consulting firm, Flint and Associates, and I'm also doing some work teaching young folks how to run for office. So I'm going to die working.
All right. And listen, if they want, do you have
Thank
books
you.
with you today?
Yes, I do. We're right over that table in front of 321 Blue Hill Ave.
All right, everyone.
Come get one.
Miss Priscilla has books with her today. I believe. I'm just going to double check my text. I'm just making sure Dominga doesn't tell me I have anyone to interview. All right, we are all set. We just want to remind you we got a little late start today, but I'm just going to let you know the schedule for the rest of the day. Just give me 1 second. Of course, you know technology here on the phone. So at 12:10 p.m., which is in about an hour and 20 minutes, a special announcement from City Councilor Tanya Fernandez. At 12:30, Carrie Mays. At 1 p.m., Lisa Bello. At 2 p.m., Jessica Care Moore, apropos, and my good friend and brother on guitar, Tyrone Chase. And at 2:30, Roxbury owns Milkshake Benedict and other surprise guests. Listen, on behalf of the Java with Jimmy brand, thank you everyone who made this possible. Thank you for the sound team. Thank you to our wonderful DJ that because of Facebook kicking us off, we really can't hear. Well, you know what, Brother Jeff? We're going to let you go ahead and play. And then if Facebook kick us off, we don't care because we're done. But give it up for Jeff 2 times, our DJ, and our wonderful, tell me the name of our so and thank you all so much for being here today. And thank you for being part of Java with Jimmy Live in Open Streets in Roxbury. At this point, you have to match my hustle. At this point, you